If you think about automation tools in the past, you give it a pre-canned templated message with a certain number of days delay, and it's all very rudimentary. It's dumb, right? And in this case, with the beauty of LLMs and intelligent automation, what you can do is you can customize every single message to the person based on the context of their LinkedIn profile, what they're writing about, what their title is, what their DISC personality profile is. The messaging has become highly effective. We also take some approaches that are impossible in the past. We don't use any APIs, as you might have noticed, which really allows us to engage with the platform more holistically, whereas a lot of those previous generation automation tools are just using the messaging endpoint of the LinkedIn API and sending messages. Yeah, so we're able to write comments to webinar invitations and really maximize the LinkedIn platform because of that. And LinkedIn is just step one. Tons of requests for Reddit, for YouTube, and those things are in the pipeline.
Hello and welcome everyone to the next episode of Founder Stories Podcast. Today, we have an interesting guest with us, Hyke, the Agent co-founder. We met Hyke in an interesting scenarios. While browsing LinkedIn, we just happened to have some interesting discussions going with Hyke. But eventually I found out it was an agentic AI bot live at action. And that's where the curiosity grew in. And we have Hyke here come to us speak about what the magic he did. Me and my co-founder Rashmi would be talking to Hyke about all this magic that he has done and to learn about the new world of agentic AI that he has mastered. So Hyke, welcome to the show.
Hi Satya, and sorry to disappoint you two gentlemen, but here we are now. It's a pleasure.
Hey, Hyke, amazing. Glad to be here again. Great discussions. We had a call where we learned a lot about you, and this is an opportunity to talk about it more, right? So why don't you start with you telling me a little bit about yourself, your your background. How did you come about to the stage where you're building your own startup? Get it?
Yeah, I think entrepreneurship is a gene that's been in my family for a long time. We're Armenian originally. We're from, post-Soviet Armenia. And so coming to America and being blessed with opportunity that we didn't exactly have in Armenia was something that opened all of our eyes and helped us realize that, you can do a lot in this country. So I ended up going to college in Silicon Valley, and Silicon Valley has this tendency it has this center of gravity where it sucks people in and you end up working at technology companies. And so that's exactly what happened to me. And I got into sales almost straight away. And I worked at data infrastructure companies. So I was an early employee at Fivetran, where I led a sales organization. I joined as an individual contributor, but the business grew so rapidly from 500,000 in ARR to, I think it's pushing 350 million in ARR now, 6 years later. Let's all cross our fingers that the IPO window opens back up soon here. But I digress. And, I led these sales organizations at several venture-backed companies. Andreessen Horowitz mostly, and did spectacularly well at some of them and was fired from others. Because as head of sales, you've got all of the proverbial guns pointed at you in the company because you're the highest capital outlay, you're the most expensive employee, and you're really expected to deliver revenue. If you don't do that, the business misses its goals. It can't fundraise. It needs to raise a down round. People are laid off. It's virtually a death sentence for venture-backed companies. So when my co-founder and I decided to start building, it was pretty evident what problem we would be solving because we had experienced the pain of it firsthand.
Awesome. So I think you spoke about your journey with Fivetran and other Andreessen Horowitz company and how you went on to lead the team over there. And good to know that you're talking so openly about getting fired from the companies, which is normally not that open by people, but I understand from where you're coming. So can you elaborate more on this problem which you said? Okay, I understand that sales, the guns are pointed to the head of sales. You have to deliver results. So what exactly was the problem here? What was causing slow growth or challenges that you're facing that led to founding the company here?
Yeah, the root cause of the was having enough meetings with people in your ideal customer to be able to convert those meetings to closed won business, to customers, and to revenue. And so if you're just not talking to enough people and discovering their pain points and whether they want to do something about it and what their timelines are for doing something about it, you simply can't hit your revenue.
Got it. So finding the right leads that would lead to sales is the challenge, is a fundamental challenge.
Yeah, that's completely right.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, Hyke, one question here. So, I have been working in B2B SaaS companies, also startups. So, interestingly, I noticed a trend like the leads was primarily driven by the SDRs, and where there were cold phone calls, and that's how the leads were given to the sales, and they become sales. Try to have a discussion, nurture the leads, and it becomes qualified, and it becomes to the cycle. Like maybe 3 to 4 years earlier, it was the scenario, but slowly it started dying out. I had noticed the SDRs are the first to get impacted in any organizations, and followed by the sales, because somehow the leads were actually qualitative, or probably it was not maturing. Like, did you see this trend happening with you during your time, and something that is really manifesting in this age? What was the experience that you had during in this entire life cycle of this?
Definitely. And the peak of it was probably 2022, Satya, where it was easiest to get business. We saw software company valuations really go off the charts. And however, to your point, diminishing returns have kicked in. And this happens to be true of a lot of systems. You find a great market, competitors come in, it becomes harder and harder to capture parts of that market. And the same is true of sales tactics. So probably the first person to put a billboard up in Times Square had tremendous success. And now there's 500 billboards in Times Square, and it's a lot harder to get someone's attention. The same is true of SDRs. When we started cold calling people, it worked really effectively. Now we have call centers using auto dialers from all over the world. I get 10 calls a day trying to sell me solar panels and construction services and all kinds of things. I'm not even sure they're legit. And so the calling channel has experienced a lot of diminishing returns for SDRs. Email has gone through a similar phenomenon. And the reason we built Agent Grow for LinkedIn is because LinkedIn is still this really wonderful place to prospect for B2B. Now, LinkedIn is starting to see a little bit of those diminishing returns as well, but I'll give you an example. People connect with me, and the moment I connect with them, they send me 5 paragraphs of text about what they do and what they want from me. And, they don't even bother to tell me how they could help me or what they like about my product or that they've researched my background. Something, please tell me something about myself to show that you've done your research. It is so much more effective. And so we've been in the trenches of all of these go-to-market phenomena that you're observing. And so we're able to take that pain we experience and really encode it into our solutions to make sure that you have the best practices for prospecting going forward.
Nice. So there are 2 things which comes to my mind, actually 3, but I'll go one by one. So first is what Satya mentioned. So is there a debate between marketing or sales? Who gets the leads? Is it marketing or SDRs? Where do we stand here?
As far as I'm concerned, both get as many leads as they possibly can. We work at the same organization. Our incentives ought to be identical. And when we need pipeline to hit our revenue goal, because we're all in the same ship. We're all on the Titanic together. Thinks we're all going down.
Yeah.
Not every organization functions this way. There's not always perfect KPI alignment, but I think the astute founders and CEOs try and make sure that those things are identical. Now, there's all kinds of tactical detail about an MQL versus an SQL and when that handoff happens, but we probably don't need to get into that.
No, we don't. I don't understand half of that anyways. It's too technical for me right now. Okay, so that was the first off the bat. I think while you're talking, you mentioned about how organizations, as organizations grow, you get to have the salespeople reach out, right channels, right platforms, and you have kind of figured out how can you address most of the concerns or challenges that people are facing, right? Now, this is something personal to me. I am scared of rejection. Like, I shiver when it comes to rejection. And I'm like, it's like a anxiety, a stress that happens if you're trying to go for a pitch and you start developing cold feet, sales pitches, putting yourself out in front of customers, prospects. Like, it's like a really, really tiring journey, mentally draining you out of energy. How do you handle this, you personally, because you have your entire career in sales? So you would have faced rejections probably 100 times more than what I would have faced in my lifetime, and you have thrived while others don't. So how do you go about doing this? How can other founders think about addressing this part out?
First off, Rashmi, I don't believe you because you prospected into me for this meeting, and so I think you're just being humble. But
Maybe.
I think certainly there's some magical people with DNA of having no fear. I think 99% of us are not like that, and that it's much more like a muscle that you can train. The first time you go to the gym, it's pretty difficult and you're sore for a week afterward. And then the more you do it, the sort of easier and easier it gets. And so I would say that that's probably the best analogy for it, is just get started and you start to realize the reality that conversion rates are low, but when it does pay off, it feels great. And so you go in with healthy expectations. You don't particularly care about if you get a yes or a no. There's lots of no's in this career. It helps to be a little bit stoic. And those are the things I think help for most people.
Gotcha.
So one more thing that really excited me about Agent Grow was like the early stage founders, they have a problem establishing themselves. They have a fear of reaching out to people or getting brand made and getting their identity built. So that's something which Agent Grow was actually trying to solve. And that's what attracted me more towards that. So like, what was your psychology for building this Agent Grow? What were the pain problems was being solved through the Agent Grow?
Yeah. I can completely relate to that, Satya. New companies that are still figuring out sales and marketing need a way to get themselves out there to build some brand awareness. And they're typically on a very thrifty and thin budget. And so one of the few options they have is organic media, as opposed to paid, as opposed to, running ads or hiring a PR firm or something like that, which means that creating content is excellent and building a founder brand is excellent. And it's all the rage nowadays. And if you're going to distribute it, you're going to need some channel of media. Oh, excuse me, guys. You're just getting a phone call there. So if you're going to distribute your founder brand and your content, you're going to do it on like a certain channel. And nowadays, social media is media. And so things like YouTube, LinkedIn, those channels nowadays. Just give me 1 second, gentlemen.
Sure. Take your time.
Yes. So what I was getting at is that, you're a new startup founder. You don't have much brand awareness. You need to go to market somehow. And so creating content, whether it's written or video or, yourself recording a music video of what your company does, and distributing it on media, which is now equivalent to social media, is a strategy that a lot of people take. And Agent Grow is excellent at helping founders build founder brand and distribute themselves on LinkedIn. I've personally used Agent Grow for all of our customer acquisition. We don't distribute it via any other channel. So we use our tool to sell our tool. It's very meta.
Nice.
And, I've achieved tens of thousands of LinkedIn page views, hundreds of thousands of content views, all for a customer acquisition cost of virtually $0. And so we sort of set out to solve our own problems in distribution. And that's what guides our roadmap when developing Agent Grow.
Amazing. So why don't we take this opportunity to you tell a little bit more about how Agent Grow works in terms of how can a founder get started with Agent Grow So let's talk about a little bit more about that, and then we'll go into other directions.
Would you like a brief demo?
Oh, that would be amazing.
See how the screen share works. And I'll need to be able to share my entire screen to show it, because in its current form factor, it's a Chrome extension. And so here it is. Are you able to see the blue Chrome extension in the top
Yes,
right?
now I can.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Excellent. And so just to keep it really brief, you type in some keywords that you're interested in targeting. You know, earlier you mentioned founder-led sales. And since we're doing a podcast currently, I think this is interesting as well. And you can select the level of work you want Agent Grow to do, like commenting on your prospects' posts, replying to those comments, even direct messaging. And we have some tutorials here for more detail if you'd like to get into that. But we'll go ahead and we'll press start. And I will just put my arms up here to show you that they are not on the keyboard, because Agent Grow is a browser control agent, and it manages your social media for you. It engages with your target audience. It direct messages them if it understands that there's intent signals there for purchasing.
Nice. I saw that it did click on the post and try to find the latest one, not the top ones. That's a nice detail.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. And what you'll notice here is that it skips through anything that's not relevant or not in the language of your country.
Okay. It did
So
find something, I
there
believe.
seems to be a lot of in the podcasting realm.
I can see that. Okay.
No
Gotcha.
worries.
Yeah, of
Sure.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's take a closer look at Agent Grow, which is a Chrome extension that manages your social media for you. So we can go ahead and type in some key terms here, like founder-led sales, that we're interested in populating in the LinkedIn feed to engage with. Additionally, you can choose what you want the agent to do, like commenting on your target leads posts, replying to any comments. You know, it can have a lengthy conversation on your behalf if you'd like, as well as direct messaging. So we'll go ahead and we'll press start, and we'll run the agent, and we'll let it do its thing. And I'm going to take my hands off of the keyboard here so that you can see that it's working on autopilot.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
So you'll notice that I'm interested in people that are talking about founder-led sales.
Yeah.
Eduardo is a head of sales here at what looks like an automation company, so that would be a great target for Agent Grow. And here Agent Grow is engaging with Eduardo. And this is critically different from what we were talking about earlier, which is the LinkedIn pitch slap problem, right? So instead of just connecting with Eduardo and telling him, I have something to sell you, pay attention to me, which has extremely low conversion rates. Instead, what I'm doing is I'm giving Eduardo engagement on his post. And there's no worse feeling than writing on LinkedIn and having nobody engage. And
Right.
so Eduardo's actually, or Tim here is actually getting a notification from us, a dopamine hit, if you will. And then later on, Agent Grow will decide if a direct message is appropriate or not. So our conversion rates are 3 times what we're seeing with just a connection request.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and all of this is a browser control agent. Critically, it works in the passive tab. So if I want to switch tabs, I want to write an email or something like that, it'll continue to work for me.
Nice.
Unlike other browser control agents like Anthropic, and Google released one recently, which require the active tab and active focus of your machine. Basically, they render your machine useless. You have to go and buy a second MacBook to get anything done. We realized that that's nice for a demo, but completely inappropriate for actual production use. And so we made it work in the passive tab.
Does it also read through the comments on the post? Because I just saw that it was going and doing recent comments on one of the posts over there.
Of course, yeah, there's all kinds of context that it takes in to ensure that the comment that's being written by Agent Grow is intelligent.
Nice. This is amazing. This actually operating just like a human.
Yeah, pretty much. You go, you read, you synthesize some ideas, and you try and write something interesting, and build a real relationship with someone before you ever try to ask them if they need to purchase your product or services.
Amazing. Love it.
Now, who are your primary customers? Like people like who have been using this product more often?
B2B SaaS customers. Frankly, all of us are in sales. Whether you have the title or not, you could be an engineer. You're still in sales when you're interviewing for a job, when you're trying to get your feature into the product roadmap. All of us are in persuasion and sales. And we have a free tier. So if you visit getagentgrow.com, anyone can sign up and try it for free. It's a very generous free tier. And then eventually what we notice is that roughly 5% of the people that sign up for our free tier end up telling other salespeople at their organization about it. Now you've got a team of people using it. At that point, we'll ask for an introduction or reach out to their VP of sales or their CRO and have a conversation about an enterprise agreement that includes popular enterprise features like CRM integration and things like that.
Nice. So
Amazing.
CRM integration is, I think, really interesting part. So how does the concept of this agent grow came into picture with specifically in the of agentic AI? So today, we knew about this LinkedIn based outreach much before. Like there were companies like ZoomInfo, and they were already doing that. But this is a new realm and a new, better and how version. So wanted to just understand that on what degrees is this better than the earlier versions that was there?
Yeah, I recommend everyone try it and see for yourself. And it's pretty amazing to watch it make its own decisions about who to engage with and what to write. If you think about automation tools in the past, you give it a pre-canned templated message with a certain number of days delay, and it's all very rudimentary. Frankly, it's dumb, right? And in this case, with the beauty of LLMs and intelligent automation, what you can do is you can customize every single message to the person based on the context of their LinkedIn profile, what they're writing about, what their title is, what their DISC personality profile is. The messaging has become highly effective. We also take some approaches that are impossible in the past. We don't use any APIs, as you might have noticed, which really allows us to engage with the platform more holistically, whereas a lot of those previous generation automation tools are just using the messaging endpoint of the LinkedIn API and sending messages. Yeah, so we're able to write comments to webinar invitations and really maximize the LinkedIn platform because of that. And LinkedIn is just step one with tons of requests for Reddit, for or YouTube, and those things are in the pipeline.
Amazing. Amazing. I mean, I love your product. I have tried it out. I loved it. I think after your demo, I'm going to even more loving it right now. I have to go deeper into the product and start trying it out more. Let's come back. So in terms of AI, what are some of the tools in AI that you personally use on a day-to-day basis? How did you get started with AI? When was that you got started with AI, and what was your journey there like?
I think I was an early adopter. One of my most viral LinkedIn posts is me saying that I would pay $1,000 a month for ChatGPT Pro. This is the $20 a month platform. And I think when I posted this, it was still during a time when a lot of people thought about it just as a writing assistant. And they used it to sort of edit their emails, things like that. It was basically Grammarly for them, like a better. And the counterintuitive thing I shared is that it's actually a reasoning agent. So if you're a developer and you pair program, it really helps to have someone over your shoulder giving you insight into your code and how you might want to try something differently. And so that's how I use ChatGPT. And it's been a big part of the realization that these things are actually pretty intelligent.
Yep.
But you have to get out of the worldview of that it's just a writing assistant and that it can actually help you reason through problems to realize that.
Yep,
I think you said it quite well. I mean, $1,000 a month is probably still going to be decent. If you think that, so I personally believe that Gen AI or the current versions of AI has given us humans superpowers, which was not possible earlier, right? I have been telling the story to everyone, and I believe that is the case with sales as well, and how you essentially did in the first one with $1,000 in reasoning one, right? What other tools do you use here on a day-to-day basis or
There's all-
regular basis, I would say?
Yeah, I use all the major frontier model providers. I haven't been able to play with Grok by X as much as I'd like, and I think it can actually be particularly good for our use case at Agent Grow because it's trained on Twitter data, which is social media data. And so if you think about our types of applications and you think about, what's likely to make a model perform well, I'm just hypothesizing here. But if the data set that it's trained on is, rich with social media data and, the types of engagements that people have on social media, maybe it'll make for greater performance for social media engagement use cases.
Absolutely.
Like, the one risk with Grok is that there's a lot of trolls on Twitter. It's possible that Agent Grow just becomes, just an excellent troll. It's up to debate as to whether that's good or not. But
it is actually, right. So I think I was on
a lot of these algorithms are tuned to perform well when you troll. But I think our average user would probably not appreciate that.
So if you look at the LinkedIn audience, they're definitely not going to like the language of what's happening on X. And if you go into a sub-segment on X that is Web3 and AI, or the overlap of Web3 and AI, I believe that the language is very different, right? So we call yapping as the marketing tool. So the more you yap, the better it is. And that's not something people will connect with in LinkedIn or professional, I would say businesses, large businesses in general.
Yeah, audiences are different. Like LinkedIn audience is completely like very sincere, and they are very focused. But I think the Twitter X has those fragmented crowds where I think the audiences understand to different lingos, and then so I think that's where this outreach that needs to be designed has to be focused on what type of audiences you are targeting and where you are going to get the maximum reach. That's an area where things has to be better.
Yes, of course, the internet has a million little communities in it. And so you have to prompt a model and fine-tune a model to be able to generalize successfully enough to understand what type of situation it's in. I'll just make a broad statement about LinkedIn, which is that it seems to be trending to, beside all of the congratulatory stuff, which is good and fine, and I think we'll never leave the platform, it seems to be trending toward being a little bit more like Reddit. Some of the LinkedIn posts and comment threads that I see are like actual experts in the field who are having a discussion with another expert, and they're kind of having a public debate for all of us to learn about. And it's actually really, really valuable. So I would love to see LinkedIn trend more in that direction. And
yeah, and I think with LinkedIn,
part of what we're doing at Agent Grow is seeding that type of high quality discourse. And so
tagging experts, different experts on one expert, and poking them to start and comment and participate in the engagement. Is that what you're pointing towards?
Definitely. And also just using browsing and other tools that are available to LLMs to put some rich and well-researched commentary into the comment section so that LinkedIn evolves from more than just congratulations, good luck, wow, amazing story, to, thanks for sharing your journey about being a founder and doing founder-led sales. Tell me more about some of the challenges. What were some of the counterintuitive learnings? And then suddenly you're sharing with the world really, really valuable things. And so that's what we aim to do in our prompting, in particular in Agent Grow, right? We want to give people who went out of their way to get past the fear of posting on social media and actually exposing themselves and being transparent with the world. We want to give them an even bigger platform to continue expanding on the main ideas that they decided to share. And frankly, I think people in their network want to hear it. They want to know more.
Yep. Agreed. So, which you mentioned about ChatGPT when it came out. You were one of the early adopters. Then you moved away from. You wanted the post of $1,000 a month ready for that. And while people are using it for like a Grammarly thing, and that was interesting because in previous discussion I actually came across that I think no one is talking about Grammarly these days, right? Everyone is going to ChatGPT for Grammarly in general. So I don't think Grammarly thought that it would be disrupted in this fashion. So we'll switch gears. Like, what other areas do you see are going to be disrupted completely in terms of apps when it comes to AI and these users? Or you have come across something already that you absolutely blew your mind off?
It's difficult to predict those particular futures, but what I will say is that there seems to be the need for an enabling layer to actually embed our LLM use more closely with the work that we do. So Grammarly, as an extension, it lives wherever you type. And so it makes it really easy to use and to benefit from. And I don't really get that at my fingertips with LLMs today. It's a little bit annoying that I have to visit a web page and then I have to copy and paste the context and I have to sit there and really synthesize a good prompt. And then I have to prompt it back and forth a few different times. Users are fickle. We're kind of lazy. We just want it to be like magic, is my opinion. And I'm probably borrowing that from Steve Jobs or someone like that. But I would love to see more of an enabling layer get us to a place where it's great to use LLMs and all of these different use cases. As for what in particular is going to be disrupted, I'm not totally sure.
No, it's amazing. That's you've been filming.
Yeah, and I live in Los Angeles of all places, but I'm
Gotcha.
but I'm a warm-blooded person.
Okay.
This is also my badge of Silicon Valley honor, right?
Yeah.
You have to own one of these to fit into San Francisco. But the moment you put this jacket on, all the venture capitalists start cold calling you.
The venture capitalists start calling you, or the founders start calling you, thinking you are a venture capitalist next.
Both of those things have happened.
Gotcha.
I'll call it Agent Grow. I say, talk to my assistant.
That's amazing. Okay. So I was about to ask, like, has there been any AI tool agent that you have used that you have not particularly liked or did not kind of meet your expectation?
Yeah, there's lots of application level AI that's still just at the great demo stage and doesn't perform particularly well. I'll flip your question, which is there is one application level AI agent that I'm particularly impressed with, and it's called Bordy, and you can call it. So it's a phone modality. You pick up the phone, you call it. It connects you with other people in its network. So it asks you, hey, what are some of your goals and challenges? And, can I put you in touch with someone in my network? And so this thing has been novel and neat, and I've gotten a couple of high quality introductions out of it. And so I'll continue to use it for sure. Now, there's a really interesting hack for it, which is that there's other voice modality AI that can make calls on your behalf. So I'm in the process, and I'll share this with everyone via LinkedIn. Follow me on LinkedIn if you're not in the future, which is that you can set up one voice AI to call Bordy on your behalf. So you don't actually have to make the call. Now you just have an agent working with an agent to get you some sort of outcome on your behalf. And I think we're starting to see green shoots of like this really bright future that's clearly around the corner here, starting to pop up, which is all of these agents just working on your behalf in harmony. And you're sort of sitting back.
We're sipping pina colada and coconut water and Bahamas.
Yeah, you're still the orchestrator. You're still the orchestrator of all of these agents. So it helps to be able to architect things. But I think the trend is software is that things get easier and easier over time. So maybe, hopefully in the not too distant future, the pina colada dream will be true, Rashmi.
Amazing. I would love to do nothing but play games and lie down and read books.
Which games and which books, Rashmi?
Oh, I play chess a lot. That's my chess and Sudoku.
All right. So dialing back on this multi-agentic thing, I think that's an interesting trend that we are seeing, and we have already talked about it during our initial introduction. Whereas multi-agents would be talking to multiple agents, and there would be one agent which would be working as an orchestrator, orchestrating that. But also we are talking about agents of having different contexts and working with other integrations, like specifically you're talking about the body working with Agent Grow to prospect the leads probably, and whatever the leads come from Agent Grow going to a CRM agent. So have you experienced any kind of an integration in such cases, or what are your thoughts on that aspect?
I think most of the integration is pretty bespoke today, or it uses APIs. So like, how we traditionally think about integration for the last couple of decades. And so it'll be kind of interesting to see how all of that changes. I don't know what language the agents will speak to one another, but you're completely right that you've got a prospecting agent doing sales and marketing on your behalf. It sends that data over to the CRM today via API primarily. And then you have a CRM agent that's, updating the fields in the CRM, that's forecasting the deals for you, that's generating a follow-up message to people in your pipeline. So that future is not very far away, but the modality for them communicating is yet to be determined what the standard is going to be.
Gotcha.
Do you have something in your roadmap for Agent Grow in the coming quarters or something?
Apart from Reddit and YouTube, which you already mentioned.
Yeah. So there's lots of multi-platform requests. There's lots of ingest my writing sample and customize my agent to be more like my personality. And that's coming soon. And there's also requests for better intent signals and targeting. So integrations with things like Clay and RB2B are in the pipeline. And then we've got direct messaging in private beta currently, which is extremely powerful because it transitions the conversation from just the comments in LinkedIn to actual DMs. And the DMs are where all of the sales pipeline gets generated. You have to transition to the direct messages in order to be able to actually book a meeting with someone. And then additionally, we'll add email. And so a lot of the times I use LinkedIn daily because I work in B2B sales, and most people do. And I think most recruiters do as well. But most technical people don't. They're maybe on there once a week to just check the updates and see if there's any notifications or any messages. And so what ends up happening is that you actually don't necessarily book the meeting, even if you get into the direct messages. So being able to follow up with someone via WhatsApp, via email, and say, hey, just closing the loop here, and here's my calendar link, wanted to make sure that we get something booked is really, really valuable and really important. So that's on the pipeline as well.
Amazing. That's a handful. I think that's mostly my question. Do you have any other questions for Hyke here, Satya?
Yeah, mostly I just wanted to talk about this. What do you think about this upcoming trends that you would be there for AI? So any specific thoughts or inputs that you have?
Yeah, we're seeing some of these models be trained a little bit more with task-specific use cases. And I'll give you an example of what I mean, which is O3 has leaked and it's performing incredibly well on software development benchmarks. And I think what's happened is that some of the frontier model providers have realized that what the killer use cases are. So this has been a critique of our industry. Like, what are the killer use cases for AI? Like, we love these LLMs. They're really great. How are they actually going to reshape how everybody works and how the world works? And I think we're seeing that come to fruition in software development, customer support, AI SDR, and a few other use cases like that. And so we're seeing some of these models get incredibly good at software development. And I think we're just seeing the beginning stages of that.
Yeah,
what
awesome.
it means for developers and everyone else, I suspect we're just going to see tons more. I don't think we're going to see huge layoffs of developers. I think we're going to see tons more software built at it's sort of how the tractor and fertilizer, entered the agricultural domain, and we saw tons more food generated and global population explode as a result. And so if that's the analogy, then maybe we'll see tons more software and we'll see global productivity explode as a result. That would be a really exciting and bright future.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's it. One of the main thing that really excites me is the prospect. The fact that the innovations and the areas, the new products that are coming, like such as yourself, the Agent Growth, are enhancing the productivity of the founders in a very unique way. Like early stage founders, they were like us and many others. They are quite introverts. They think twice about engaging with a stranger on a post, or maybe doing a cold call. Like we and Rashmi were often discussing that how do we talk to new prospects? Do we need to send them an email, or do we need to pick up a phone and talk? And I think that's what eliminates it. We are really, really excited to see what Agent Grow is going to bring into our coming future. And we are happy to introduce Agent Grow to all the founders that are there in this region to adopt and maybe see for themselves how it is. I think that's an area where we think we will be seeing maximum traction, and we would like to share more details about the Agent growth in our links on our channel, so that people can follow you and talk to you. There are other prospective founders who would be in deep collaboration with you to see how they can integrate it with their product and specifically see their use cases grow.
Yeah, if you're a founder or a salesperson or a social media marketer that's looking to generate more warm leads, and you just want a little buddy who can help you out with that and help you get over the hump of how terrifying it is to make cold calls and how difficult it is to get started with prospecting, definitely visit getagentgrow.com and give it a try. Like I mentioned, we have a generous free tier. And Rashmi and Satya, I think that it could be great for yourselves as well in distributing the podcast and growing your social audiences.
Definitely. Absolutely. And we will also share this link with you. Like you have a great affiliate program, like people who want to distribute for you. I think they can get in touch with you for the distribution as well. And we all agree that everybody is a salesperson at the core. And for every founder, distribution is the key. So with that, like a lot of things hinge on the sales, and the tools as Agent Grow are just going to help us bring it to the next level. So, Hyke, like any specific place that they can reach out to you, like if they have any, our audience has any questions or any kind of a feedback or any business discussions, where do they find you? What's the best place?
I'm most prolific on LinkedIn at Hyke Chakyan. That's HayKChakyan. That's probably the best place to reach me. Just don't send me a pitch slap message. Do your research because.
So do what we did, and we converted Hyke to participate in the podcast.
Bingo. Yeah, we'll have to put some screenshots on the screen of the exact exchange.
And there, it's been a great discussion here, Hyke. I mean, loved what your insights into how AI SDRs are playing, how natural now AI is becoming. And I think this is only the beginning, and we'll get to connect more often, and hopefully we'll start and talk even more often and learn from you more. And all the best to your journey.
Appreciate it.
We wanted to say that it has been amazing discussion, and the podcast has been really, really great. It's great that to connect with you and to share, like and comment on this podcast, how it was, and we'll share the link about how we can reach Hyke. That is, let's help to grow this agentic AI into and make it a better world for us. So with that,
Leave a comment.
Thank you.
The algorithm loves comments.
Yeah, engagement. That's what we are all talking about. Yeah. So get Agent Grow, everyone, and thank you for attending this podcast. Great listening you too.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Bye.
Thank you, Hyke. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning on to the Founder Stories podcast. Today, we hope today's session with our incredible guest was interesting and inspiring. If you enjoyed this conversation, be sure to subscribe and leave a review and share it with the network. Stay tuned as we continue to bring the stories of more extraordinary founders, explore the groundbreaking strategies, and showcase the latest AI tools and innovations that are shaping the future. Until next time, keep dreaming big and turning challenges into opportunities. See you in the next episode. Bye.